Hello my good Tenno, today we're going to talk about how you can build Mirage for steelpath survival, sanctuary onslaught or just normal starchart. Today I'm going to show you 4 builds. Take note that this builds will not contain any subsume abilities, as such I want to show you guys that Mirage can be viable in steelpath even without any subsume abilities, we just have to utilize our operator. Now let's talk about Mirage or Mirage Prime. Mirage is kind of a glass cannon Warframe, where she have one of the lowest base health and armor in the game. However, this by all means doesn't make her a bad steelpath Warframe, because she also makes her enemy look squishy. Mirage's utilities focuses on buffing her damage. Her first skill, Hall of Mirrors, summons for Doppelganger of Mirage, which mimics all her movements. Each Doppelganger deals 20% of the total damage of her weapons. However, when shooting your primary weapon, only the 2 front Doppelganger will mimic the attack, while when attacking with melee weapons, all the Doppelganger will mimic your attacks. Mirage's second skill, Slate of Hand, will replace all the loot such as health orbs, ammos into booby traps that deals damage. Mirage's third skill, Eclipse, is considered one of the best subsume skill, because this skill will buff your weapon's base damage when you're standing in a well-lit environment and give you damage reduction when standing in a dark place such as a shadow. However, the damage buff will scale of your lighting in-game. That is why when playing Mirage you have to tweak your settings to utilize its full potential. By enabling enchant graphics and disabling dynamic lighting, you can maximize the potential of Eclipse. Onto the 4th ability, Prism. Launches a ball that shoots lasers into your enemies. Each laser damages and affects radiation to the enemy. Take note that the laser cannot hit the same enemy twice, and the longer the laser in going, the longer the energy drain it gets. Now without further ado, let's get started. The first build I'm going to show you is a build that is focused on nuking with your prism, by using the prism guard augment, where Mirage's 4th ability will latch onto Mirage and deal massive DPS. Now let's look at the build. Energy Siphon for our aura mod. This is for the extra energy regeneration. Power Drift, Transient Fortitude for the added strength. We didn't use Blind Rage because we need the efficiency since the prism consumes energy per second. Rolling Guard for the 3 seconds invulnerability and status cleanse. Primed Flow for the extra energy maximum capacity, Narrow-minded, Continuity and Augur Message for the duration. We use Augur Message so we can shield gate. Equilibrium so that we can utilize the synth mod set in our companion. And Prism Guard Augment so that our prism will follow us. As for the arcanes, you don't really need any of this since we mod our Mirage for sustainability in terms of energy, since our main damage will come from prism. Our primary weapon and secondary weapon will only be used for priming so that our damage output will be higher. I suggest cedo for the status effects from the glaive of cedo, or the epitaph for the secondary weapons. For cedo, this is our build. Galvanized Savvy, Toxic Barrage, Critical Deacceleration, Shell Shock, Galvanized Hell, Cleanse Grainy for the multiplicative damage against faction enemies, Ravage for the critical damage, and Hunter Munition for the slash chance. I also use ammo mutation mod so that we will sustain our ammo. Now for the secondary weapon. The Epitaph. Barrel Death Fusion, Pistol Pestilence, Primed Fulmination for the radial blast. Forced Bite so we can combine the element Cold with Toxin to create viral. Augur Seeker for the 90% status duration, and we pair this up with Augur Pact for shield gating, Gunslinger for the attack speed. Heated Charge so we can proc heat. And an ammo mutation build. For the melee weapon, we use the Orthos Prime. For the stance mod, we use Shimmering Blight for the stance. Condition Overload for the additional base bonus damage per status effect, Primed Reach or Reach for range. Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush for status and critical chance increase per combo meter. Berserker Fury for attack speed. Organ Shatter for the additional critical damage. Virulent Scourge and Voltaic Strike so we can create corrosive. For the operator, we use the Vazarin Focus School. For the protective dash, since Mirage is a very squishy frame, we will depend of the protective dash for our survivability. I almost forgot. This is the build for the companion that we will be using. A panzer vulpaphyla. This companion does not need to be former. As you can see, the mods that we use are synth mods so we can get more health orbs. Tech set for the status duration and chance to be immune. Pack leader so we can heal our pet for every damage we dealt. Animal instinct for enemy radar, and finally the panzer devolution so our companion becomes basically immortal, and viral quills so our companion can inflict viral status effects on the enemies. Then fetch for the loot pickup. Now let's test the build in a mission. As you can see, the key ingredient for this build to work is you have to always be moving. Since we are a glass cannon here, we need to kill the enemies first before they can attack us. That's all for the Prism Guard build. Now let's move on to the second build. This next build will make you utilize your weapons as such. It will focus on increasing the damage of your doppelganger. By using the augment mod Hall of Malevolence, we can increase the damage of our doppelganger by up to 50%. Take note that the 50% bonus damage will reset every time Mirage recasts her first skill. With this build we can almost AFK farm. I said almost because we still have to sustain our ammo. This build is great if you're using AoE weapons such as kuva bramma, kuva zarr, kuva ogris and the heavy attack of glaives. First let's look at the Warframe mods. For our aura mod, we have energy siphon for energy regeneration, power drift and blind rage for the strength increase, and streamline so we can still manage our energy consumption. Narrow-minded, primed continuity and augur message for the duration, since we want to have a long uptime for our illusions. Rolling guard for the 3 seconds invulnerability and status cleanse. Primed flow for the maximum energy capacity and Hall of Malevolence for the damage increase of our illusions. For our weapons, I'm going to give you one build for the kuva bramma, kuva zarr, and kuva ogris. For the kuva bramma we equip it with galvanized chamber mods for the 230% multishot when you have max stack buffs, amalgam serration for the base damage bonus. You can change this into faction damage mods if you like, since we already have primary merciless as a primary arcane for our kuva bramma, galvanize aptitude for status chance and for the base damage increase for each status effect. Critical delay for the critical chance increase. Primed firestorm for the increase of radial blast. Hunter munitions for the 30% slash chance every time we deal critical damage. Viral sense for the critical damage increases. Rhyme rounds for the cold status effect. This mixed with toxic will make our shot deal with viral status effects. And ammo mutation mods for the ammo pickup. The next build will be for our kuva zarr. It is basically the same with the kuva bramma, however instead of rhyme rounds, we put thermite rounds. So we can create the gas status effect, which leaves a gas cloud that will deal damage to enemies in the affected range. For the kuva ogris build, we used galvanized chamber for the multishot, wildfire for the heat mod damage and ammo capacity. We combine this heat status with toxin to create a gas status effect. Now we also used Nightwatch napalm, which is a mod specifically for the ogris. This will leave damage over time similar to gas consistently. We used primed firestorm for the bonus radial blast radius and galvanized aptitude for the gun condition overload. Then we used heavy caliber instead of serration because we need the negative accuracy. Then ammo mutation for ammo collection. And primary merciless for the reload speed and damage bonus. Onto the third build, which focuses on nuking the Sanctuary Onslaught. This build will utilize the augment mod. Explosive legerdemain. This mod makes every tangible loot such as energy orbs and ammo. Will transform mines when sleight of hands is used for our aura mod. We used an energy siphon mod for the energy regeneration. We then put transient fortitude and blind rage for strength and also used overextended and stretch for the additional range. To counter the negative efficiency of blind rage, we used max fleeting expertise. We don't need duration for this build. We just need raw strength and range. We used primed flow for the energy capacity and rolling guard for the 3 seconds invulnerability and status cleanse. The only steps you need to do for this build to work is: Step 1, kill enemies with your primary. Step 2, press 2. Step 3, chill and let the enemies die from your traps. With this build, you can max out your focus points fast. You don't have to rely on your teammates when maxing your focus points. Also take note that I am using Zinuric Focus School for the Wellspring ability, which grants you energy regeneration. Now let's move on to the last build, which is the beginner build. This build will let you cruise the normal starchart without any problems. Here are the mods. For the aura mod we still use energy siphon. Then we use enemy sense for the enemy radar. Transient fortitude for strength. Then narrow-minded, continuity and augur message for the duration increase. Flow for the energy maximum. Vitality for more health, and we use equilibrium for the energy to health conversion and vice versa. Streamline for the efficiency. For your companion, it is important for you to use the synth mod set, so that you will be able to utilize the equilibrium more efficiently. For the weapons I suggest the lens. As such it's just like kuva bramma, but it's much easier to get. The build for the lens are Vigilante armaments and galvanized chamber or Hell's chamber for multishot. Critical delay for the critical chance, and we use speed trigger so that we can negate the negative attack speed of critical delay. We then perseration for the base damage multiplier. Vital sense for the critical damage increase. Malignant force so we can create viral explosions. And firestorm for the increase of radial blow radius. Then terminal velocity for the projectile speed. Take note that when using this build we have to make sure that our first ability and eclipse is always active to get the best results. And those are my Mirage builds. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like and ring that notification bell for more video.